yes, here we are once again on the Daily Huddle. My name is Steele Greye, and you know a little about me. I'm a singer, I'm an actor, I'm a dancer, an engager. Um, Traveled around the world as an entertainer on cruise ships and in hotels and so on and so forth. I am originally from New York City. Here I am again in New York City, and I just love to speak to people. I love to engage and get inside the nooks and crannies of life, right? Whatever that is for you is probably different for me, but whatever I can do, whatever knowledge I can impart upon you, I love to do it. Because if there's one thing that I say today, one thing that changes your life, then it was worth it. And our Daily Huddle is a magical place because we're here every day from Monday through Friday. And every day we kind of like touch on a different area, right? Some health, some spirituality, business, all kinds of ways that we can just be better human beings. And today we highlight men's health. I say highlight, which is kind of strange in a sense because I think we all should be concerned with our health. Oh my goodness. You know, as the year goes by, we have all these days, right? We have days for the mother, we have days for the father, we have days for certain kind of people from certain countries. But believe it, none of these days will be possible without concentrating on our health. When I speak about men's health, yes, I'm specifically speaking about men's health today. But what goes without saying is anything that I say right now, for the most part, can apply to men and women on certain levels, right? Just health in general. Have you ever noticed that if you move around your city, and I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say probably almost every city, no matter where you go, you always see fruits and vegetables and things that are colorful and a little shiny around. Go to any supermarket in the country. You really almost never see a lot of people in that section. Isn't that amazing? Now, in New York, you pick up one of these guys, wherever you go, right? We have fruit stands all over the city. Obviously, we have stores that are open way beyond times in other cities. We have 24 hours to whatever the case may be, right? But my point is this. The things that are colorful, I'm speaking to men really, really specifically right now. I have this saying. I kind of concocted it. I'm not going to take full responsibility for all these things because these things are everywhere. But what I say is, if you want to get healthy, like really healthy, I say these three words one after another. Water, 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 greens, 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 colors, colors, colors. If you can consume in that way, putting those three things together, water, greens, and colors, an astronomical change in your life will come about. I can almost guarantee it, right? Now, I showed you this orange specifically because the orange has many benefits, and we know that already. But did you know that oranges, if you eat an orange a day, on average, it has the ability to lower depression rate by 20%. Think about that. When we speak about statistics, so on and so forth, we know that statistics are different wherever you go. They speak to different people at different time, from different races, from different part of the country, whatever the case may be, right? But has anyone ever told you that this one thing, if you're depressed, can possibly lower your depression? And by the way, can also increase levels of serotonin and dopamine. One a day. We hear about the apple a day. We hear about the banana a day. And of course, there's stats on all of those things, right? If you really want to get gangster healthy, drink 4 to 6 glasses a day, 5 to 8 glasses a day, have an orange, a banana, and an apple. Oh, I've done this. Trust me. The things that are available to us are so right in front of us like this that we don't really even see them sometimes. How crazy is that, right? So what I want to do is I want to let you know about some stats. And, you know, I knew about most of these already, but there's something called the empathy gap as it relates to men. In short, to define it without getting too crazy and technical, I'm just explaining the fact that there's actually a deficit specifically where it relates to men, right? A deficit in the things that will help us out of these areas. Talking about awareness, prevention, education, and also family, right? Because we all know the man, let's call him the head of the household in many places. We all know the female's the head of the household, but I'll get back to that another time. We'll call him the head of the household. This particular man who had his children, who's taking care of his home, how can he be expected to be the strong man in the house if he's not taking care of himself, right? Going to the doctor, getting regular checks on blood pressure or cholesterol, which, by the way, two of the biggest checks you can have: blood pressure and cholesterol. If you get those things, two things checked on a regular basis, you can change literally the scope of many other things in your body, right? So I wrote down these specific things, and again, I knew a lot of these already, and it's a little bit heartbreaking to think, but we are in a time where certain things are just really swallowing us up, right? So my voice is very dry today because I've been singing a lot, and not I'm drinking so much water, but I need more. It's crazy. So the leading cause of death across all demographics, what do you think it is? I'm going to tell you. It's heart disease. Heart disease. Now, you could be thinking to yourself, is it our heart disease because we're not eating enough things to keep our heart regulated? Is it heart disease because people are stressed? And when we stress, we send these stress signals all around our body, which create toxins and create disease. It could be all of that, right? But I bring it up to say that because of heart disease, we go to things that now go to other areas like lung cancer, right? Or the big one for men, which is prostate cancer, right? Obviously, getting your prostate exam for men over 40, but specifically in the 50s, is a big thing, right? What I did was I put down some things here that I want to talk to you about that deal with basically foods that can help you deal with or create a healthier prostate, right? I'm zeroing in on this prostate for men because it's a huge problem, right? Second largest killer of men. We talk about things like that. What's funny is that it's said that 1 in every 8 men will get prostate cancer. 1 in every 8. Okay. So you ask yourself, well, why are people not doing things to prevent that? Right. And when I speak about it, I'm talking, it's funny because no matter what I talk about, I always go back to the same thing. And I'll tell you what I mean. I can talk about 10 different topics, and somehow, some way, I lead myself and the information at any given time back to the cruciferous vegetables. Vegetables, right? Broccoli, kale, cauliflower, bok choy. If you knew the power of these greens and you consume them consistently, these things could really be pushed down to a low. But as you all know, we are so hypnotized by the non-color food, right? The white breads, the heavy doses of pasta, right? The fried food, the food that is real. I just call it fake food. Like you're just buying food off the street with, whatever, dough and sauce, and, you're just throwing stuff into your mouth. So really, it's it seems so easy to say, but if I didn't say anything else for this whole presentation, and when you finished here, you decided you were going to eat an over amount of vegetables for the next 7 days, you're going to just go to the store and you're going to buy all that stuff and you're going to put it in your fridge and you're just going to consume it like a rabbit for the next 7 days. Your body would probably go into a little bit of a detox because it'd be saying, what are we doing here? Right? What are we doing? The body wants to take its time digesting. But what we do is we eat and we eat and we eat and we eat and we eat, and we don't exercise, right? So let's just say, trying to make an example, let's just say that this circle right here is our intestine, okay? Now, think about this circle being a long tube, right? Like that. Now, picture yourself going to the table and eating, let's just pick Thanksgiving, turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, sweet potato, chicken. And if you could take all those things and put them into a ball, could you eat them? No, it wouldn't fit in your mouth. However, we're eating it bit by bit by bit by bit, and it's going into this little canal. After it's full, it can't go anymore. It sits there waiting to move through the canal, like the traffic going through the Battery Tunnel in New York City. That's a New York reference. If you don't understand that, the Battery Tunnel is only but so far. It's only but so long, right? So imagine this canal being stuck most of the time. How do you think that would affect the rest of the body? I'm giving it to you as plain as possible, right? Especially for men. And I'm not going to come at people who are eating meat. That's your choice if you're eating meat. But what I want to say is this. The last time I checked the stat, it takes somewhere between 20 to 45 days for a full-size steak to get through the digestive system. Think about that. And you know what's missing from that? A very simple thing. You're going to think it's funny. Chewing. If each and every one of us chewed our food twice as much as we do now, right? Put something in your mouth, you swallow it. What was that? 4 chews? 5 chews? If you sit and actually let the food get into your system, wow, your body will thank you, because by the time it gets down to this area, through that, and of course the peristalsis that creates kind of like a motion in the body to make everything go through to digest on its own, you'll be amazed. You'll be completely amazed. You should give this a shot. Anyway, the other thing I was going to say, and remember, this is specifically related to prostate health, because prostate health is really high up on the list for men, like really high. Second, only to the heart disease, right? Or lung cancer. So I want to talk for a second about pumpkin seeds. I've had this conversation before with other people, and pumpkin seeds to me kind of get the short end of the stick, to me. If you haven't had some pumpkin seeds in a long time, please consume them. Please consume them. The reason why I say it is because I don't know what it is about pumpkin seeds, why they get pushed to the side, but they have fiber, they have protein, they have zinc. I wrote, what else did I write about that? Anyway, also magnesium and also manganese. All of those things just in a seed. Just in a seed. Isn't that fascinating? Also, and I talk about this almost every time I talk about any food on my day on the huddle, I talk about berries. The antioxidants in berries are so powerful. Again, one thing after another, one thing after another, one thing after another on top of these things. All the things that I'm talking about, if you can consume these, again, I am specifically speaking to men today, but in general, we all benefit from this. Men and women have different bodies inside. There's different things going on mentally and psychologically in a man and a woman as well. However, for the most part, our body parts are experiencing the same kind of hunger for specific things, right? So I wrote down something that I wanted to make clear. So obviously the berries have the antioxidants and the phytonutrients, but also um, it kind of it's interesting that these berries can kind of transform into beta carotene as well in our body. So do some more research on that because it's really, really powerful. And then I also want to talk about the pomegranate, one of the most beautiful fruits ever. Is it a fruit? I think it is. So the pomegranate, and I think I've spoken about this before, but such a high concentration of antioxidants. But what I want to say that's really important, and I want you to really remember this, in the pomegranate, the seed, the actual seed, some people just suck on the seed and then they throw the pit away. The seed, which is called an aril, ARIL, is so good for you. I want you to do your own research on it, right? Men and women, even though I'm specifically talking about men, ARILS, arrows. Please look into that. So good for you. So good. My brother used to eat pomegranates when I was younger, and I wasn't really into them at first. And then when I started actually drinking the pomegranate juice, oh my goodness. Very strong, high concentration, but we can do it, right? We can do it. If you drink the unsweetened, usually the unsweetened pomegranate because it's a little bit better. But imagine that this thing itself is literally pushing down the growth of cancer cells, specifically in the prostate area, right? Another one I wrote down is green tea. Now, green tea, just to keep it simple, the more you drink of it, the more it breaks down the unhealthy cells. It's basically like a cavalry of little men going in or women going in and breaking down all the unhealthy cells that are in your body, right? Speak to Chinese people, they're always talking about green tea, always green tea, right? This is something that I want you to research even more because green tea is more of a friend than you think. So, interestingly enough, I wrote this word down and I saw it a long time ago and I didn't really pay too much attention to it. But I spoke to you about oranges. So there's this gut bacteria word. I'm going to say it. I believe I'm saying it the right way. It's called F. prausnitzii, right? And people who consume more of oranges, like I was telling you, they have more of this. What's the word I'm looking for? Outside of it producing more serotonin and dopamine, you have more of this kind of gut bacteria that really works in your favor, right? If you research gut bacteria, there's several kinds of it, but some of it is working in our favor if we consume the right foods. And that's why I brought up the oranges again for. So that's some information about that. I also saw this other stat, which doesn't really surprise me, that 55% of men, 55 report very rarely going to the doctor getting any checkups or regular checkups. And the number raises in black men 65 to 70%. So I could sit here all day and give information, but if we're not doing anything, then you're going to get what you get, right? Because certain people are just going to the doctor when something goes wrong or something's really, really like, oh my goodness, what happened? Boom, they go to the doctor and the doctor says, oh, you could have cured this a long time ago, but you didn't come in. I'm not sure if I said this before, but one of the things that's also right in front of us all the time, and we can consume more of it, and it would help us immensely, are tomatoes, right? Tomatoes, again, antioxidants, right? And lycopene. But when you talk about spaghetti, if any of you love spaghetti, this pureed tomato sauce is so good for you. As a matter of fact, I suggest making your own tomato sauce. Go online, look for a great recipe, blend it, smash it. Look at some Italian videos online of people. Oh my goodness, it's the best. It's the best thing ever. I'm telling you. You can't imagine how good that will be for you going forward. And also, I think I said this a while ago, right? But please don't forget about watermelon, grapefruit, and papaya. Those three things right there. I mean, your body will rejoice when it feels those things going into the body more and more and more and more and more. I mean, there's so much information about all this stuff. And that I think that's what frustrates me because the information is there and we're not using it. And all the money that's going into health and healthcare, you feel like it's where's that money going? Like, is it helping us? Are people showing up to reap the benefits? Or we just don't care, right? Um, it's just really a powerful thing. And I want people to really, really take notice of it. So there's a thing that's going on. Again, I think it's June 11th to 15th or June 9th to 15th, where every Friday across America, people are wearing blue to signify more awareness for men on that day. And also, I didn't know this before, but did you know that when President Clinton was president, he was the first person to establish the Health Week for Men, right? I think that happened in, what did I write there? Happened in 94. I did not know this. Again, when we speak about concentrating on things, having a week of this, having a week of that, we have to sustain it. We have to keep it going because if we stop, then we're going back to the basic again, right? Um, this I thought was interesting. I wrote this down because I thought it was funny. So there's something called Movember. Instead of November, Movember, right? And in November, the people who know about this, the men grow mustaches to spark conversation about prostate and testicular cancer, right? Isn't that like a little weird and quirky? Movember, mustaches. Who would have thought that? I would, even if I saw that, I wouldn't think that it meant that. How about that? So I urge you to kind of break down these stigmas that are going on with men and men's health, right? It doesn't have to be the way that it is right now, right? Did you know that men are 4 to 5 times likely to commit suicide than women? And of course, by and large, statistically, women are living in the 5 to 8 years longer than men as well. Why is that? To me, in my personal opinion, part of the reason that is because when you're taking care of yourself, you feel better. When you feel better, you do better things. But it works in the opposite. If you're not feeling good, you'll eat those extra slices of pizza and soda and candy and blah, 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 and you get heavy and then you sit and then you don't move and everything goes on to everything, right? So look, if we want to live longer, and I'm speaking specifically to you men right now, please realize this. The answers are right in front of us. It's so simple that we miss it. I said it to you before. An apple, an orange, and a banana every day. What is that going to cost? $4? $3? Instead of having that Starbucks coffee, instead of having 2 donuts, a bagel, and a large, whatever it is, frappe, give it a shot for a week and eat as many colors as you possibly can, right? I mean, like anything that you see in the store that's colorful, get that. Grapes, oranges, pomegranates, pears, peaches, grapefruits. It just goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. Make that 1 or 2 of your meals in a day, right? As far as National Men's Health Month goes, what can you do to show other people or be an example that men can be healthier, that men can make some better choices? What can you do, right? Actually, now that I think about it, I'm looking in the call today. There's not as many men as I thought. But before we get out of here, does anyone that's listening have a suggestion for Men's Health Month, or any men that are listening want to say something that may inspire someone else about what they do to stay healthy. Anyway. All right, no problem. No problem. So I also wanted to say, and I think I'm going to do a presentation on this coming up. I consume these oils. You guys have probably heard of them before. It's called doTERRA. And man, I'm a representative for them. And I'm telling you, we can't forget about oils. We can't forget about essential oils. Again, most of these oils are derived from nature, right? If you've heard nothing else today, any of the men that are here, any of the men that will hear this in the future, please lean on nature. Please ground yourself barefoot on the grass. Please go out and hug a tree. Please go out and buy a bundle of greens, maybe more than you think you can eat, and spread it out over 10 days, right? Calm yourself. Give yourself some quiet time each and every day. I do it, and I'm telling you, it pays so many amazing dividends. Trust me. Trust me. I just want everyone to be healthier. I want everyone to feel that they actually matter, because we're all walking examples of what we're doing with our life. Think about that again. We're all walking examples of what we are doing. If you walk around and you see somebody who's 350 pounds, they might have a family ailment. They might be overweight because of depression. They might be overweight because they had an accident and couldn't move their body. There's an amazing amount of reasons why. However, what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing to be cause in the matter? Don't give up your health. You could be the person who's the catalyst for somebody who wants to check out, but they see you and they go, wow, that person looks amazing. I wonder if I could do that. They look like me. You could be the silent example to save another life. You ever think about that? Silent example. You might not even know. They might not even ever tell you. It could happen just like that. I have so much information to give about this Men's Health Month, but I wanted to give you those key points. And I love these topics because sometimes we don't hear things until someone in our circle brings it up or says something that affects us. So does anyone have a question or anything they want to ask before we get out of here? It's a quiet day on the huddle. It's all good though. I love you guys. I'm glad you're here. Before we go, let's go over our tenets, because along with men's health, along with health in general, we always like to speak about our tenets, because the tenets are, they're the foundation, they're the foundation of everything that we do every day. Please live out loud. Please love more, right? Please take the time to give of yourself. Anything that you have, or as my dad said, give away things that you love. Oh my gosh. I challenge you to give away something that you absolutely love. Please try that exercise. Totally one of my favorites. Eat more plant-based. We spoke about that before. The plant-based foods are really going to uplift and enrich your body. I promise you they are. I consume them all the time, right? Also, sleep more, because more sleep prepares the body for all the things that we have to deal with in life, right? Give us more energy, give us more of our thought process, more clarity as we walk around in the world. Also, please stress less, because the stress is really, in all honesty, is what is producing all the things I talk about. Stress is one of the leading causes of all those things, believe it or not, right? Stress can move through our body in ways that we don't even understand most times. And also, please remember to laugh. just laugh. There's so much to laugh about. And if you have nothing to laugh about, just laugh. How about that? Oh my gosh. It's sometimes so easy, but we make it so difficult, right? And please, please, please move the body. around as much as possible. You don't have to live in a city like New York to move. You can move anywhere. You can walk a mile a day, come back. That's 2 miles a day. Boom. Nothing to that, right? My good people, please check yourself before you wreck yourself on this day and every day going forward. My name is Steele Greye. I love all of you. Thank you for having me here. As I always love just giving you anything that I have to make it easier for you on this journey, because it's tough out there sometimes. Have a spectacular day, everybody. Be well, and I will see you soon. Peace.